The most essential factors in winning a game in PES card collection is what player skills your players have. Because of this, many new members are constantly asking themselves, which skills should I have for which position? So I decided to make a video guide to answer that question for everyone. This is based on my own knowledge, as well as information I've gathered from other veterans across several forums I frequent. With the right skills in the right positions, you can often find yourself beating stronger teams than your own. That is why it is important to know which skills to look out for. In this guide, I will not be covering the special legend skills, because these are of course the elite skills at the moment, and mostly are just powerful versions of the regular player skills. That being said, if you are lucky enough to get yourself a legend card, and not just the X version, you should try to fit it in your team any way you can. We will start off with the goalkeeper position. This position isn't the most vital position, because there aren't many different skill choices, and they do not trigger as frequently as other positions. It is usually best to go with 2 more defensive skills in this position. The ideal combination would be safe hands, which is the ability to safely catch any shots on goal, and aerial domination, which is the ability to deal with high balls and shots. The top players to look for who have this skill are players like International Manuel Neuer, International Gianluigi Buffon, and the new regular series Marc-Andre ter Stegen. If you cannot get this combination, the second best would be to go with safe hands and aerial presence. Most keepers come with the safe hands, but the aerial presence is basically the lower skill version of aerial domination. A new skill has been added with the new keepers, which is accurate long ball, which is a pass played from deep straight to the front line. But I haven't found it to be a very average skill. It doesn't occur too frequently, and it never leads to anything too amazing. I think it's better to keep your goalkeeper in a more defensive mindset. After all, it is your last line of defense. Moving from the goalkeepers to the center back positions. This is also a position where you want to try and keep it to 2 defensive skills. The top center backs will be equipped with elite skills such as precise tackle, which is a slide tackle skill to win back possession, and perfect read, which is the ability to anticipate and cut out passes. Some of the top center backs with these skills include International Sergio Ramos, International Gerard Piqué, and International Jerome Boateng. However, if you cannot get a high enough defender with these skills, the lower level versions, which also work well, will have a precise tackle and an interceptor skill as well. You definitely want to make sure your defender has a tackle skill, though. So either hard tackle or precise tackle. There will be some top defenders that have other skills, like laser guided pass, the provider, or pinpoint feed, which basically are accurate passes to the front line, but these skills are less effective. These center backs will still perform well, but ultimately go for the 2 defensive skills, because they essentially make or break your defense. They will be the difference between top players scoring against you or not. Next up is the fullback positions. This is basically the same as center backs. 2 defensive skills is what you want, precise tackle and perfect read ideally. Basically, you want a center back that can play in the fullback positions for you. Top center backs with the ability to play in the left back position, along with 2 defensive skills, includes International Jerome Boateng, International Giorgio Chiellini, and the new regular series Samuel Umtiti. The top center backs that can play in the right back position that also have these 2 skills include International Sergio Ramos, International Jerome Boateng, and International Nicolai Otamendi. Because Jerome Boateng can play all 3 positions, he's a very useful card to have. If you cannot seem to get a fullback with 2 defensive skills, another good option is to have 1 defensive skill and a passing skill. But just make sure that they have at least 1 defensive skill, because if you use one without any, it leaves you very vulnerable. Then we come to the defensive midfield position. This is your first line of defense, and again, you want the same skills you get from your center backs, which is the precise tackle skill and the perfect read skill. Top defensive midfielders that you can acquire with 2 defensive skills include International N'Golo Kante, International Jordan Henderson, and International Pepe. Center backs who can play in the midfield are good options for this position. If you cannot find any players like this though, a good backup option is a player with a defensive skill and a passing skill. They will still perform well in your midfield. Moving away from the defense and into the midfield, it is worth noting that I'm assuming this is an attacking midfielder because this is based on formation with defensive midfielders. But if you have no defensive midfielders, I would recommend putting your furthest back midfielders with skills mentioned above, and the more advanced midfielders with the skills I explain next. For your attacking midfielders, there will be many different skill options. However, the 2 elite skills you want to aim for are fly-through pass, which is a pass over the defensive line, and phenomenal shot, a shot which wobbles unpredictably during flight. Pair either of these two up with other top skills like offensive crusher, mid-range sniper, lightning dribble, arcing drive, or decisive pass, and you should have a powerful attacking force. I've heard a few people say that you should avoid tricky dribble because it isn't useful, so maybe stay away from that one. Some of the top attacking midfielders you want to aim for include international Luka Modric, international Kevin De Bruyne, and international Paul Pogba. Next up is the winger positions. This can depend on how you want to play, or who you have as your striker. But ideal wingers either have a cut-in dribble that ends in a shot, or down the wing that ends in a cross. If you want your wingers to stay wide and cross, ideally they will have a lightning dribble, which is pace on the ball that will leave a defender dumbfounded, which is needed to get past the defenders, and then a skill like pinpoint or killer cross, which is a ball played from wide aimed at players inside the box to find your striker. There aren't many high-level players with these skills, so if you're wanting to play with this way, you would need to settle for low-level players like international Angel Di Maria or international Philippe Coutinho, but they can still do a job for you, especially in the earlier stages of the game. The other options to have on the wings is a winger who will cut in and finish off moves themselves. There are a lot more high-level options for this kind of gameplay, like international Lionel Messi, new regular series Mohamed Salah, and the new regular series Philippe Coutinho. For this style, you will just need to make sure they have inside cutter, which is dribbling from the sides to the center, which will get you past the defenders and into the box, and then a skill like goal hunter or mid-range sniper to finish off the move. This will usually result in a goal if you make it past the defenders. If you cannot find a shooting skill as your backup skill, something like decisive pass isn't a bad option either for your cutting-in wingers. The last and probably most important position is the striker position. With a high-level striker that has the right skills, you can find yourself beating way higher-level teams. I can't tell you how many times I've lost to inferior teams simply because they had a high-level Cristiano Ronaldo up top. You ideally want a player with a top-level dribbling move, like lightning dribble, to get past your opponent, and then a shooting skill to finish off the move. The best skills to have would be the sharpshooter, phenomenal shot, and mid-range sniper. Because the range on these are so far away, they work better than other alternatives like goal hunter and plays shot, but they are also a good option. Some of the top strikers have heading and volley skills also, which do work, and if you plan on having a heavy crossing team, these can be effective. But it is important in the long run that you try to find a player who can make goals for themselves. Some of the top strikers to have include international Cristiano Ronaldo, the new regular series Lionel Messi, and the new regular series Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It is also important to look at players' skills when choosing your free kick and corner takers. Passing skills such as decisive pass and fly-through pass can activate on passing free kicks, whereas mid-range sniper and phenomenal shot can occur on shooting free kicks. Also, if you have a player with a crossing skill, their skill can activate on corners, so it is helpful to put them on the corner-taking duties. This can lead to a lot of extra goals that you would not have gotten without these players. For anyone that was struggling deciding skills to use, I hope this helped. If you have any further questions, post them in the comments below, and I'll get around to answering them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, like, comment, and subscribe. More videos are coming very soon.